within a bank is very important. If you create a chatbot, are there any guidelines? Taking everybody along as a stakeholder management is very, very important. Money is a central bank digital currency. Now, taking all the stakeholders in the ecosystem will do the magical change in our national ecosystem. We need in the back office intelligent systems backed by AI and blockchain. On operational side, instead of putting 10 lakhs, sometimes they put 9 lakhs, 99,000 and something. But on Excel, they will say, I have put 10 lakhs. I think reconciliation settlement will be powerful use case for blockchain. So that they move to the next orbit, then we choose another set of a process. So process automation within a bank is very important. Now these days, process automation is a consortium led, right? Imagine UPI is a process automation example for payment. Account aggregator, which is coming from lending or data sharing, or we have a Aadhaar or many other DPIs are coming now. So looking at that process automation, third angle, what are technologies we don't have or we have, how to upgrade, what platforms you have to upgrade, looking at the RBI's expectations, patch management and all of that. We don't have blockchain, let's go for it. We don't have AI, now Gen AI, for what purpose? So that is also very important, creating business use cases for adopting those technologies. Fourth angle is your regulation, external factors, how they are going to affect or impact you for doing that digital transformation. If you create a chatbot, are there any guidelines? If you are creating some kind of India's first Aadhaar enabled ATM, is it aligned with data protection or whatever new guidelines are going to come? So any product building which you are doing, you should have that common sense or intelligence based upon last 25 years regulation. This could be new regulations will come on metaverse banking, or this could be the new regulation may come like around authentication, process management, or data management in my chatbot or in a uniform KYC. So build the product based upon that expectation. And do we have that right partners? In a DCB, when I joined, within 6 months, I must have met all partners in a digital banking. So as a digital banking head, you need to keep meeting partners. He may not be your immediate partner in 2-3 months, but down the line 6 months, 7 months, which I have seen while discussing in a boardroom. Hey, now we need to go for some good GST system. Do we have that? Yes, sir. I met one guy, so-called Number and Versipa in 2015. Let me call them within 15 days. We'll go live. That's what we have done. I would have said, let me just do mobile banking, which is a current need, or internet banking upgrade, which is current need, and I will not see those big data partners or blockchain partners or so-called chatbot partners. And if that requirement is coming during COVID, then I will lose a lot of time. So I think digital banker or CDOs should keep meeting partners, keep creating their repositories. These are the partners, their levels, and so on. And I think I never learned all these things in any book. And those are my areas. And third, last important angle is that take care of your customers. Now there are two sets of customers: your internal employees, your stakeholder, your business teams, who is going to do day-to-day work, and customers. So there is one exercise I used to do under guidance of Mr. Murli in DCB and under guidance of my CTO, Mr. Another Murli Mandwa. Technical architecture review, quarterly technical architecture review with the MD of the bank. Now, MD, why he should come and review technical architecture, right? But when he starts looking at those customer complaints, he used to see every customer complaint which is coming in TCB and which is beyond 30 days. And it happens because of some haywire in technical architecture. It's not like something on a day when we are putting a complete bank platform, core banking, and start. It's as a gradual journey in last 7-8 years, we put a lot of systems. So how our architecture is moving from month on month? Do you have that right blueprint? Are we aligned with the security guidelines? Are we adding new systems? How we are doing technological architecture upgrades? So that we used to review along with the business teams. While business teams don't know why I'm in the technical architecture review meeting, but through that process, now they are so confident to talk to the customer. This is coming in next year, our upgrade is coming, Oracle is coming. So they are aware this is how our architecture works. So stakeholder management to take everybody along so that they should not come and expect in one of these meeting, where is my chaos banking? Sir, we discuss in architecture meeting, we are building that ESB. It is going to come, and after on top of that, we are going to add chaos banking. So your priority is in the third month. So that kind of a stakeholder management is very, very important, so that taking everybody along. And other part, Customer engagement. So we used to do a lot of customer engagement workshops to invite top 50 loyal customers, and maybe customers doing banking with us from last 15-10 years. And we used to invite them banks and talk about what new things we are creating, mobile banking, internet banking, and we used to ask them their feedback. Is it good? Is it bad? So I think something which you are delivering as a product, it should not be before time. It should be on time or near real time, right? For example, if you are creating metaverse today, he will say for what purpose I have to wear this, right? So let us build whenever the new technological innovation will happen into that. And that moment, I think few of the meetings I asked them, would you like to do WhatsApp banking? They said, WhatsApp banking, what is it? Should I send money from WhatsApp? No, no, it's only WhatsApp me. You have to say, what is my balance? Give my checkbook or stop check, this and that. You don't have to log in so-called. Oh, it's wow, very good. So whenever you used to have that validation from customer for creation of any of the new products, that gives a lot of attitude aptitude. So validation of products, validation of fintech products, while we talk to the fintechs, taking the validation from internal auditor, compliance, infra team, how is their architecture, what all bill of material is required. So I think taking everybody along as a stakeholder management is very, very important as a step. Now I'll talk one thing. We as a bank during COVID, while it was a gesture, everybody were used to be on the same forum, right, on Zoom call. So our MD has taken the opportunity that now itne dino ke baad, after so many days, are everybody is on a daily basis, they are on the call. Then he announced, so far we did a lot of projects in silos. Mr. XYZ, you go to the our CTO silos and give some projects. Mr. ABC, you give your lending projects in silos. Now I want to see all of your projects on same canvas. Can we create a list of wish list from retail, trade, corporate banking, and card on mobile? All the teams, please bring your wish list as a new project or a change request and give me ROI. Why we should do this? Is it going to add on automation? Is it going to add on customer experience? Is it going to change our banking? And bring that in the next 6-7 days. Let us do a workshop maybe in Bangalore, and that's what we did. And we got around 309 projects. And imagine 309 project management tracking was with MD every week. And he used to drive, like biggest stakeholder in the management program, which we have seen. I think in that way, if every bank starts doing that, taking all the stakeholder, it is not possible because bank sizes are different. And it all about first actor. Who is that leader who is that champion who is taking that 309 or who is taking that all projects together? We need a very good digital banker or a role, champion officer or maybe growth officer or innovation officer, who should take complete bank together, right? Who should have a envision, this is my bank, I need to lift from one orbit to another orbit next year. And he should have a view of all the products, all the operations, all the automations. He should know my bank's innovation index is a 7.1, I need to make it 8. So I think those roles are very, very important in the bank. Those roles are segregated as a part of a 7-8 guys sitting together. But I think if you bring those roles, so-called chief innovation officer or chief digital officers, and even if existing digital officer, when they start looking at this unlearn and learning all these new areas, having some knowledge around tech and compliance, risk, operations, and vigilance, and all of that. So today I'll tell you, I confidently go to the RBI, talk to RBI CGMs who drive the banking for those hundreds of banks. I confidently tell them which are the processes are wrong, which are those regulations we need to change with the help of blockchain or AI or RPA altogether, how we are going to change existing KYC or DPSC Act, or how do we nullify some of those regulation compliance guidelines which we have created. So I think it's a good gesture from RBI and NIBM, IIBF, College of Supervisors, and fellow bankers who has always welcomed me in their offices. Mr. Susanta ji in SBI, or we talk about Vishal ji in Canara, or there are many friends like Anil ji in Union Bank. They always welcome these views, and independently as a consulting or non-consulting, they welcome. And I can give many examples because of these sessions. I did India's first CBDC session back in 2019. This is how it is going to come. Future of money is a central bank digital currency. We should start working in 2019, imagine. And we launched in our CBDC in 22. And China has launched initial programs in 2017-18, right? And the future of money is going to change with the digital asset, fractional ownership. These are new age models which CT banks, HSBCs are doing. I am talking often to IFSCA, can we not do this? IBDSE, can we not do this? I think taking all the stakeholder within the organization, I have learned. Now, taking all the stakeholders in the ecosystem will do the magical change in our national ecosystem, which is already happening at a silos at NPCI or Protean. But how NPCI can talk to some other and create a good with IBDSE? Can they not secure UPI frauds? That's a vision to look at it. Can you not create a framework for integration on account aggregator with IBDSE? Or income tax department talking with IBDSE so that form 26AS and form 15GH, we have to give it to all the branches. You just give it once in one bank and it is work is done. I think opportunities was huge in one bank. Now the banking is coming out of the one bank, right? It is becoming marketplace banking. And in marketplace banking, we need in the back office intelligent systems backed by AI and blockchain, right? While in the front, you will have EVs, IoTs in marketplace banking or apart from your mobile and internet. So I think next level is that, which I was taking, it is going to be interesting. Your devices are going to transaction. Your EV trucks will do the transaction on ONDC and say, I have delivered so many packets, and against that packets, give me some carbon credits, right? And give me some tokens which I can incentivize in some other ecosystem. So these are those futuristic models which can happen as a committee or consumption consortium-led use case. I think, as you rightly said, Prasadji, I can talk best the way you are. It is quite interesting discussion between us. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it adds to our knowledge. I mean, I think like you have like the huge store like Amazon in your mind, and then I mean the more we discuss, the more things comes out of it, and I think it's
Yeah.
exciting. So given like you have championed like several innovation, and the blockchain is like blockchain is near to your heart, then AI, RPA. So can you discuss like in like the specific potential you see each of these technologies like?
Yeah, I think once again, these are foundational texts, and I'll give experience how we have implemented or how we can emphasize implementing. Like in blockchain, I would say one of those model, like if any fraud happens, for example, one fraud has happened in one bank. So vigilance department is important and having a job that they have to understand that fraud and create that entry in a FMR, which is RBI's window. This fraud has happened, and that data has to be propagated to all the other NBFCs bank through CFR, Central Fraud Registry. Now today, a fraud happened today, maybe on 3rd of December. It takes 40 to 45 days to circulate that fraud data to other banks because it's a disconnected ecosystem. And while implementing, we said we are doing digital transformation. But the way we emphasize blockchain technology today, you do the entry in a FMR, the data can be available immediately next day in another bank. That much saving we are doing. Another example I could give that cash-based reconciliation, where we ask some of the cash management companies to come and move that cash into ATMs and put that cash into from ATM vans to ATM. So typically on operational side, instead of putting 10 lakhs, sometimes they put 9 lakhs, 99,000 and something. But on Excel, they will say, I have put 10 lakhs. And at the end of a financial year, the whole all these amounts will go in suspense account. Some banks will have thousands of crores in suspense account because of this operational gaps in a reconciliation settlement. I think reconciliation settlement will be powerful use case for blockchain. Digital identity, having a right KYC, vendor management, unified KYC, how to have do the KYC once, and same KYC can be utilized in bank, in insurance, in telecom companies, can come on a blockchain. Safeguarding of your data, where a lot of regulations which you have written, it should be encrypted and it should be auditable. Put it in blockchain, from day one, it's safe, right? How we are sharing data from one bank to your card management vendor or We have the traceability of a complete customer record until he gives the card, which we are working with one of the bank out here. Complete view of a company where it is a green, blue, are these all these operations agreements are intact, completely come on a smart contract backed by RPA plus blockchain, right? Where MD who is sitting in a company called ISG or some Worldline FSS, they will say we are completely green or some part of the orange because some processes are down. Today, RBI will come and say license is gone. But confidently, if you implement gradually this foundation tech, I think you will have a larger visibility. Even RBI will have visibility. They don't have to come and ask those questions. They will have a complete visibility sitting in their office. So today they come and visit those logs, ask those questions. They don't have to do these operational audits. They just see the window. Yeah, this is how it is. Now, these are those models which changes foundationally. Now you need to see which are those processes we can change. As I said, at an organization level, change something like tracking a loan file. Where is the loan file? Is it somebody opening and doing some mischievous activities with that loan file? Can be completely done on a blockchain. Or there are other uses like a fraud has happened, right? And how that fraud should not happen again against that card or against that customer. That can come on a blockchain. Now, coming back to RPA, like there are a lot of repetitive exercises which are done in operations. You and me sit, we can say there are 300 plus processes in a bank, right? Data entry, they do for every form. Then there is a maker, there is a checker, right? And then it will take 15 to 20 minutes for one form. Bring on RPA bot, they will do it within and they will not come and say, I don't want to come, I'm not feeling well. Saturday, oh my God, I'm not going to do it. I had seen one example back in 2012-13 where Visa has asked all these point of sale guys, you have to do a pin injection, right? Imagine 1 lakh POS, which is already on circulation that time. How can we go there and do this? So that time I had done one automation. Just do in a master POS and take that POS and just connect. Done. Right? You don't have to go with that program. So I think since those automation days now, robotic process automation, the user data entry, where you have to do data entry of so many users in Finacle or 100 plus systems, there you can upload a file and bot can just read that Excel and do the data entry and so on, right? Any of those operational process like taking backups in data center, it can be automated with the help of some of these jobs. The data movement, which typically happens from core banking to the internet banking, because these two are disconnected ecosystem as far as the Finacle goes. It can come on a batch process backed by RPA. And if something goes wrong, you can define that RPA process in a such a way that it will give some alarm or SMS or some notification or some kind of a canvas. All these systems are up, right? You can create some stuff at every system. In that stuff, keep pumping the piggyback the data on that canvas with that kind of reading logs and that kind of a bots which we can create. I think at any banks you will find enough number of automation use cases. At UBI we have vision that 300 plus use case we should automate. And good to see that your tool, automation edge tool, we are utilizing there with one of the partners out there. And coming back, AI is a new internet for all of us, right? And when you look at ChatGPT journey, which is a Gen AI tool, and now it's altogether different work altogether. It has taken internet to a different league. But to safeguard that league, blockchain is required, right? So, and automate that existing legacy process to put it in a AI, we definitely need a RPA. So AI, once again, if you go back and look at front, mid, and back, AI is everywhere. Conversational banking, we need to understand those different languages. So AI, machine learning can come into that picture, deep learning, and all of that. Like if you were to see on the front side, take that Aadhaar card or some of those physical documents, how can we really recognize those characters? So OCR is a one part of AI, right? AI is a different set of different technologies. Optical character recognition from that while we do this KYC, eKYC, then video KYC, which is another part, which is backed by AI. So wherein one of the mandates says that whatever videos are there, whatever the KYC are they really good? So if I ask somebody to see all those videos and say whether it is good or bad, it will take years together for him to analyze all those 3,000 videos of a day. There we can create a program, means he'll say, yes, all videos are perfect. Now you just manually come and say all those greens, yeah, all are green. yes, and only those rates we have to do re-KYC again. So I think there are a lot of repetitive works which happens in at all mid and back. We can do the stuff. Intelligently, we can see that foreseeing the financial forecast, like looking at our financial a transaction which has happened at a bank level or at a customer level. I can see whether this customer is going to be green or orange next 30 days. Is he going to be NPA or do he need new loan? So that kind of a new age business model now you can create with the help of intelligence in the back office and give that message to the front office in a channel, and customers say yes, I want it. That consent can come on blockchain. So I think it's a combination of technology. So it's not something RPA is going to succeed, or AI is going to succeed, or blockchain is going to succeed. So it is a combination of ABCD, right? AI, blockchain, cloud, and the data putting together. So that kind of a new age use cases. We should always look at how all the things should go hand in hand. Today we talk about on front mobile and internet. Maybe tomorrow IoT devices, your smart cars, smart homes will become a tomorrow's customer. So I think all these technologies should go hand in hand with the right security and right data compliance and so on. Yeah.
And I think it's a very valid point. I mean, like they need to go hand in hand and they are interdependent upon it and they complement each other and the combination of all can really produce a great result. So
yes, yes.
yeah. So can you throw some light because like on the India Blockchain Forum and your role in making India a powerhouse for the blockchain? And
Yeah.
what are the recent accomplishment and the upcoming initiatives like you have in?
Yeah, definitely. So once again, I admire you, Prasadji. I think your early career where you used to be collaborator, and similarly, I admire all my mentors who has taught me this collaboration attitude. Blockchain is a collaboration technology. It cannot be succeed with one company implementing blockchain. You need to collaborate with other bank or other insurance company or other country or large scale governments and so on. So I think the way we founded many of those our business model backed by internet are having a lot of gaps, and these gaps are fulfilled by some regulation, compliance, some password, some kind of audit trails and so on, which we are doing. Internet we followed as a student or as a technocrat, as a developer back in TS, Technimont ICB, or as a from Massive. We always followed internet. But I look at a blockchain technology so that others should follow us, right? Like in blockchain is a new age technology. It doesn't have some best of the best practices, anything, everything, and how do we sign off that, right? It is at a nascent journey, right? How do you have a better layer one, which has a good scale, which has a good security, which has a good compliance, which has a good adoption, so that existing scalability of UPI kind of issue can be governed by blockchain, right? And having skill set, right? There are a lot of skill set gap in blockchain. Corporate don't know where to implement blockchain. Enterprises are still looking at how do we do that, right? And the government also back in 17, 18, although government is one of those top area where blockchain can be implemented for caste certificate to avoid a lot of corruptions, land title registrations, and so on. So I think there are many areas which I emphasized when I started this journey back in 2015, 16. 17, I was part of IMA's blockchain forum as a co-chair, and we did a lot of work, but typical work was around crypto, right? So I think I was always a fan of a blockchain and enterprise use cases, which will touch upon every individuals in India and around India. So during this whole process, I did a lot of sessions, maybe 1,000+ sessions in colleges, other corporates, and RBIs and regulators and so on. But I always thought of how do we take everybody along and move to the next level. So Bankchain we did with at least in banking area, and that time my thought process started. Well, Bankchain we have created to bring 36 bank members and service providers. Why not I create a industry agnostic forum where we do research, where we help colleges to create skill set, where we create best practices, where we create good layer ones, where we ask government, these are the use cases, where we create India's use case repository for a blockchain, where we identify which are the top 50 companies who are working on a blockchain, where we collaborate with other blockchain forums of other country. I think that was not there in India. So that's a vision I learned from IMEI. And I created this structure and I started pushing this structure on LinkedIn and social media. And many people joined my hand. So I published this like India's top 50 influencer in blockchain or India's top blockchain companies. And those companies have started supporting me indirectly, directly. That's our model then. With that vision, I started this with Mr. Pankaj ji, Mr. Saraj, Mr. Srini, and our late Mr. Colonel Inderjit ji. So I think these are the four pillars along with me, which we started in 2022. While all the roots are there done in when I was part of DCP Bank, I was a co-chair for FICCI. I was a part of IDRBT Blockchain Forum. I was a mentor at a Kerala Blockchain Academy. So almost all areas I was covering. So India Blockchain Forum gives a depth at all 10, 12 levels, creating best policies. So we are helping policy of Rajasthan. That's achievement. We have done Web3 sandbox. We are the advisors for Telangana. We are always part of for every conference which is done by state governments or central government. We are guiding RBI at some of the sessions. We are taking a lot of sessions at RBI or NIBM or bank level. We are implementing some of those use cases with our tech partners. And moreover, we participate in all those research area, how new layer ones are coming. Recently, we did a participation policy program for Tamil Nadu state. We are advising Orissa government for 50 plus use cases on blockchain. So we did a lot of enterprise programs for unconferences. We did at many companies, right? So we advise EYs also through India Blockchain Forum and some of the other big fours for taking in a right direction. So we are touching all the stakeholders around that. We done a best practices framework for cybersecurity in a blockchain. We are talking with the Institute of Internal Auditors. So how tomorrow's auditors should learn and change their processes and practices around that. We are talking to ICR. So then all the CA should have this blockchain course around that. So we are talking with some of the legal law universities, how lawyers should know the blockchain. So we are talking to at least 30, 40 academias, how they can add blockchain center of excellence and courses. So we are doing with IIM, Nagpur, and upgrade we have done. Kerala Blockchain Academy said, Idea Labs. I think proudly say that we are pioneers in at least in Indian ecosystems. Since 2015, we cashed up the blockchain. We work with the regulators, we work with the startup companies, we have a fund, FSP Capital and Growth Cap, where we help deep tech companies to get funds. We work closely with the colleges where we do a lot of hackathons. At a Diamond T, we've done around 10 college hackathons in the last 1-2 months. While we talk, we create our own platforms like Diamond T One, which is our layer one platform. We participate into exercises by Hedera or Avalanche or LFTF, which is a prior Hyperledger or Ethereum's. I think and the collaboration activity helps here. We don't compete. We just look at how blockchain is incentivized through India Blockchain Forum. So we have good types with some of those forums like the Digital Economist, which is a US-based forum, or UK's forum, or GBA. We are promoted or us that advisory for Nepal or Sri Lanka. How can we create blockchain forums there? All of our knowledge, which we are doing, how and slowly we want to see how cross-border use cases we can learn. So not today where we have reached. So now we want to see how at least 10 large enterprise use cases in the next 2 to 3 years can be done along with us. So we look at the guidance from CDAC, large companies like Walmart, Samsung, and so on. Government support. While we had a national strategy, we are contributing to national strategy along with other stakeholders back in 2020. We look at how the next level of strategy can come. We want to create the strategy for RBI, how they can create a blockchain adoption fastly with the help of IBDSE. So I think we want to create new skills on a blockchain which can be there in India, outside of India, because it's a collaboration game. Blockchain is a boundaryless, right? So there are a lot of use cases which in gaming and crypto and digital asset with a good regulation, we can do wonders altogether. We want to bring HSBCs and some of the stances to see how they have created their products. So some of these areas which we are talking to our IBDSE, how they can learn from them, digital wallet or digital assets which they are doing outside of India. So I think at all levels, we are seeing how inch by inch we can move forward. And good to see that support is good, which is coming from others. The journey is up and down. We always had failures as well as the success stories. And we look at how we help to other forums also. Now we have India Blockchain Alliance run by Mr. Raj Kapoorji. Then we have a Web3 Bharat Association, which is run by all crypto and Web3 companies. So we go hand in hand. Whatever is required as a policy practice for blockchain, we will keep doing it. So we'll keep collaborating with the regulators and other forums also. And see, at the end of the day, we see very potential use case. I think only small use case like CBDC can move GDP by 3%. Now
Mhm.
imagine many more use cases
Many
come
more use
on the
cases. Yeah.
blockchain. India will prevail. And when we talk about this in G20, we can take those best practices to the other countries also. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think quite interesting. And then, I mean, you kept saying like this innovation, collaboration, and then getting the regulator and the government involved. I mean, really help in getting the use cases executed and then a success. And then you rightly said like not everything we try to put it will be successful, so that there are certain failures also, and it is said like the failures are the milestone for the success, because then you need to like the fail, learn, fine tune, and get rid of that kind of way. So I think it's a really valid point. So given that kind of the mentoring support you provide to emerging startup, what advice would you give to those startup companies?
So can you repeat last line?
Yeah, so like yes, I like kind of like the mentoring support you provide to all this like the emerging tech startups,
Yeah, yeah,
and what advice would you give it to
yeah.
them? Like,
So I think good to see that whenever I go to many sessions in colleges and various things which are done at there are a lot of acceleration programs keep inviting. So one of them I'm going to talk tomorrow with RBI Innovation Hub on 5th. So advice is that create right teams, right? Your founder, co-founder team should be long term. Look at the friends could be your co-founder, founder, because that's very, very important as a governance structure, right? We should have a right synergy together to solve a very good problem statement, not solve something which is somebody has solved. Although if there is a business model or a market share for that idea or for that solution, you can always be part of that. But always look at what is a new thing which you can do, because that's what startups are or innovators are there for. Something to around green or something around how can we solve those reconciliation problems, or in a payment there are many startups, but are you really solving reconciliation one, or are you creating some kind of a wow apps, or are you creating something on metaverse, are you creating something on digital assets? So look at unique things. Do not be like a me too kind of a startup like a Sasa detergent, right? Detergent is there, but may not have a right depth. So bring on that depth. Second, third thing is like if you are funded, look at your funds adequately on daily basis. Do not spend much. You should have a right visibility for next 2 to 3 years for your invested funds. If you are bootstrapped, again look at your book size, what people you have, what people you don't have, reskill. Look at ask your developers to learn more and more, because they are going to be leaders tomorrow in the same company. Otherwise, you have to hire big guys with a big salary, and again there will be an unborn issue. I have seen many companies having funds day one, but after day 365 they are vanished. So it's very, very important to look at your unborn business models. Keep validating your business model with your competition, as well as a market study, as well as with a good mentors around that. And as you rightly said, have some good advisors who knows compliance, regulation, go to market strategy, and accelerate your journey, right? While you can drive your car, but these mentors can come and act as an accelerator, or can come as a brakes where you have to stop, right? And they have a, we can have a very good journey in that bumpy roads, right? And set very tough targets whenever you are doing for business growth and so on. And again take care of your work life balances and so on and so forth. Look at a new technology which is coming in while you are building tech stack today. Look at, like, for example, Flutter is getting out and there is something new coming which is like micro apps, right? So are you building in that direction where Facebooks and Googles are creating their own new frameworks? Are you adopting right practices for as a DevOps, right? Completely from design, development to, or you are again putting two people for do patch management and so on. So I think right processes are very important, because these are new age organizations. They don't have a legacy of architecture people. So they should adopt right processes to begin with. they should go to a lot of conferences. They should go to a lot of acceleration meetups where they will find fellow competitors or fellow speakers. And within that 10-15 minutes or hour, you have a different perspective to run the company. So I think more meetups, more meeting with the competition as well as meeting, looking at the how the other journeys are happening is very important. Even if you do not need investment, go and meet investors. Validate yourself, your idea, your model. Ask, let them ask several questions and make you up and down. That will take a lot of help to for their growth journey. For example, some company don't need a fund, but they are into RegTech. A very good mentor and investor can give a perspective for next 5 years so that they can alter their product journey, their people journey, and so on, and be on that right on born things, right? So I think these are those good areas, having right mix of a team. Do not while most of these fintech work day and day night, so having a right work culture is very important. Timing and so on and so forth. While you have a fund, you can always go to co-working spaces, bigger office. But look at, do you really need that? Your everything can be managed as a SaaS and small office. Why do you need, right? So you can always look at those angles to alter your products. Look at what regulations keeps building. Imagine 2022 digital lending guidelines. At least 70% those companies have vanished because they never had a license for lending, right? Or some of them have become NBFCs who are doing P2P lending back in 2007. I think I towards regulation compliance is very important so that they remain in the race. Otherwise, they will become yesterday's vanished fintech companies. So, and have out of hurry, some of the fintechs say, "Hey, let's go live. Yeah, this product is live." But what you are doing? Are you adding more energy for operations? And like in video KYC came in, many people went live. But where are you storing those video KYCs, right? Are you storing in your office rather than bank's premise? So I think those are the gaps. Like out of enthusiasm, sometimes we go live, but we forget the compliance and regulation guidelines or cybersecurity guidelines and so on. Spend a lot of times with the bankers as a fintech guys. They should spend a lot of time with the banker. And some of the fintech founders are successful because they were ex-bankers. That's how they understand how to work with banker, their language, their perception towards how to convert those first, second meeting as an actual business collaboration. So I think being in touch with the bankers, keeping eye on regulation, these are quite important. Keep learning new things. Ask your fellow team members to get certifications. Promote them if they are getting more certifications, right? Because they are adding value, adding your company by doing that. Spend some money for that. I think in our company also, our founders do take care of similar kind of exercises. As you move from one orbit to another, challenges are different. Like that's orbit shifting and measuring your parameters in the next orbit is very, very important. While today, these are the 10 orbits for you. Tomorrow, those 10 orbits index or intensity is going to change. So you have to keep assessing without complicating things. As a common sense, this is your company. You have to drive at all the angles. And I think those successful CEOs and the founders can really make wonders if they stick to the basics and stick to the problem solving attitude with a customer centric attitude, right? It's again for bankers also. Like example, customer onboarding journey is so smooth. But do you have the same journey for customer servicing? Do you have the same journey for re-KYC? Do you have the same journey when he is talking to the contact center? Do you have the same journey when he is not able to do the transaction? What type of journeys you are creating as a product? And I think that's a participative exercise they need to keep doing with the bank because it's a cohesive product which they offer. I think that's how they will be able to succeed. So in a nutshell, look at your company values, your people, your team, what problem they are solving, how uniquely they are solving, the funds, investment, go-to-market strategy, what competition is doing around that, how they are improvising their employees, what looking at the competition, going to conferences, talking to the people, keep creating your network bigger and bigger. Even if you may not need now, tomorrow it will be very uh, uh, good and successful stuff. Go some of those international conferences if you are into payment, digital lending, you'll find a lot of ideas into Cybos or Money 2020 or Singapore FinTech Festival like stuff. I think these are common sense things. Uh, and at the end of the day, enjoy celebrations and even if the chaos is there, some downtime is there. I think good leaders don't go panic. That's very, very important. In banks, we have seen many up and downs, right? Core banking or transactions are not going. I have learned from those, my fellow leaders. Don't go panic. Assess the situation, see the impact, and communicate that impact to all, and then get into the resolution. So communication, while you collaborate with the ecosystem, communicate to your customers. If something is down, like suppose ABC Fintech is down, don't get panic. There could be some API down, some could, and then have some common platforms to communicate to your customers. We'll come back definite time and be more towards customer. Look at those Zomatos and Swiggy, right? They give so many guidelines. Like tomorrow, ONDC will bring something. Nobody will go there. Tomorrow's business models, tomorrow's fintech models are only around customers, right, on front office. But in the back and mid, you need to keep looking at what should be improvised as architecture or as a people or as a process. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I like the two things, like you said, like the network is important. So I keep telling
Yeah.
my team, your net worth is your network.
Yeah.
And that is the one. And second thing, I keep telling them, saying like, it is said, I don't know who said it, but like it is said, like if you don't take care of the customer, somebody else will. So
Yeah. Yes.
you
Absolutely.
need
Yes.
to be on top of it. So I think these two things I think you highlighted, those were like my other favorites. So given that like you are like the policy advocate for the blockchain, how do you see like the regulatory frameworks evolving to support the growth of the fintech in India and globally? Because I think it's important that I mean this should be supported by the I mean, regulation as well as like the authorities in the country.
Yeah. I think, see, we do not need a regulation for technology. We never needed regulations because now we talk for AI regulations around AI, how to safeguard the data, how to share the data. Like blockchain is a multi-node, so how do we? Who will hold the custody of that data, right? So there are a lot of basic rules we need to handle. The way we handle basic rules for mobile bank,
Mhm.
or we handle created that OTP or password, audit trails, all that rules we created for doing internet banking, mobile banking. Similarly, the rules are for products. Rules are for business model. Rules are for operations. So rules are not for or regulations are not for technologies. Like today we make a news or noise for blockchain. We need regulation or and so on. We do not need regulator understand power of blockchain already. And government, that is why we have national strategy. That is we have DLT committee at RBI or IRD has done some work or SEBI or IFSCA. What is needed for technologies, right business model, right product? What is that we are going to build in the right direction? For that purpose, we need regulation. Now, the noise around crypto or
Mhm.
noise around the so-called those models which are not supported, and I will never support as a bank or as a RBI, I will never support because it is not giving a last mile advantage with the crypto,
Mhm.
right? But if I bring a CBDC or some regulated stable coin or a digital asset kind of a fractional ownership in a one flat or a line title registration which is safeguarded in the blockchain or any of those use cases we spoke earlier like fraud risk or having a cross-border payment which are enhancing your operations to the next level. For that matter, we need that study, how blockchain works. That's what I said, courses for auditors, CISOs, or awareness is very, very important for blockchain or any other. So I think regulators should look at people awareness, creating those best practices for those models. Always keep revisiting how technological enhancements are happening. Today, CBDC will not work on Hyperledger. Scalability is a challenge out there. But how do we bring research in that so that now CBDC should work? So I think what is needed around regulation guidelines is how technology can attach to the features and products for a better customer centricity, data protection. I think those common sense guidelines are required for all these technologies. And good to see that RBI is doing best job around that. That is why we have IVDSE. Or good to see that at least 15 plus state governments in India are working on blockchain.
Mhm.
Maharashtra is working on some use case for RTOs or organ donation, or Karnataka has done a land registration, and Gujarat is looking at revenue department land registration. Birth certificates are there on West Bengal. They have done crop insurance in Kerala, Telangana, Andhra land registration. Some more use cases. Having a citizen wallet, all the documents can be distributed. Orissa is working on that. Solar subsidy or some more use case that Rajasthan is doing. Smaller like Assam or there are smaller states are working on various. Jharkhand has done something on a blockchain, right? And I think the way I used to talk to this government officers back in 17, 18 in few of my sessions, and today they teach blockchain, right? They know what is blockchain, right? They just ask which platform will scale. The questions have changed now. So while we may say on that Web3 world, so called crypto, there are a lot to do. Yes, there is a lot to do. We need a lot of regulations around customer centricity. How do we have a better business model, better product? On that's very, very important angle. But at the same time, blockchain is a larger pie. It's a railroad, right? It's not one car or one truck like crypto. It has a complete railroad to cater many industries, many use cases. Whatever gaps we have created in the internet, all those gaps will be fulfilled by next gen blockchain. That is why layer one, layer two, those enhancements are keep coming, and the pace is quite good that way. So while I can say a department like NPC has worked on Vajra for blockchain, income tax department, we have our own national blockchain framework through CDAC now, which is announced in 4th October. Our every SMS which we receive, it is on blockchain. Tomorrow consent mechanism is going to come. I will say, I don't want SMSs from 10 o'clock night till morning 6. No SMS will say, because consent is stored on blockchain now. That is a new change request we will find, right? So I think what is required, any of those business, any of those technical architectures or any of those business model we are going to change, like KYC is going to change. Your CKYC will become decentralized KYC. So how the data will, so I think for all that purpose, we need regulations and guidelines. So it is centric to that use case. So we don't have to go and restrict blockchain or restrict AI, but what use case, what product we are building with the help of the technology will be successful stories for a regulation. That is why I said, now, I like 16 December, I'm going to RBI, right? For what purpose? They want to have something new. So I think they need to, that is the participation we are looking at it. Yeah.
Very good, I think. Yeah. So, what do you believe like the role of the metaverse and then NFT and digital identity is the future of the financial services?
See, I was about to say, and you got it right. NFTs is the digital footprint of your physical Taj Mahal or a physical bat, right? Now, imagine when social media was not there. How we used to greet and meet, right? We used to say, hi, hello, how are you? We used to smile. We used to take photographs and put those photographs in the wall, on the wall. Why? For what purpose? That question will come. What is the use of that photo? It's just one photo. But that gives a lot of emotional satisfaction to the people. That is how we human beings are there. Now, slowly, we moved that photos into digital photos. And then we started posting so many photos. Earlier, with that Kodak reel, we used to have only 36 photos and we used to say, why are it has gone, right? So now today you can have 36 photos within 36 seconds. Technology has changed. And some of these photos we can put it on Facebook, Instagram, Reels, and we used to say like, unlike. And now people look at it as a branding exercise. That is why we have website, we have so many things. So that assets, physical assets are now getting into digital assets. But while we are creating digital assets, we have not thought of who is created this, right? Who has taken this photograph, or who belongs this original copy of this document or original copy of this product? Who has created this one? Who has written this article? Easy belongs to that. So that digital footprint, how we record it in blockchain. So first record goes in blockchain and say this is the first record, and the copy is a fungible, right? Which is a non-NFT. So NFT of that Mona Lisa painting, I can give a rights to some person digitally. Now it belongs to you. Now there are multiple models which you can create. For example, a complete building, I can create small part and say these parts are technically available on the agreement, so-called like a fractional part. And I can, instead of buying complete property, I can just buy that fractional part for 1,000 rupees rather than I require one. And liquidity comes immediately. Right? So that's a use of some of this fractional asset ownership. Or if I have to produce a movie, so today I need some good buyers, right? Producers. But I go to public and say, I am going to create a Bahubali 3. And for sure, as I know, Bahubali 1, 2 was successful. So next one is also going to successful, let me put my 100 rupees. And like that 1 crore people like me put 100 rupees, imagine how much money we are. And I get that certificate, this particular fraction of production belongs to me. So that tomorrow movie goes very good and the value is more. Against that 100 rupees, I can ask them, give me 200 rupees. Moreover, I can trade that part to another guy. See, Bahubali was movie and I own that part. Would you like that? Because I need money right now. But take this and maybe you can pay me 300 rupees. And that guy will take because he knows after 3 years, 7 years, also that value is good for him.
Yes.
Right. So I think these new secondary market. If you have to create and a trust around that, we need a blockchain kind of a technology, which is tokenization. So now, how do we create funds? So today we have a banks are done with many more models. Now you have to they have to think alternate methods to raise money. So these are the alternative methods. They have to see how smart contract backed funding I can give the projects. Large project, like suppose somebody wants to create a Imagica, 800 crore is given. How can I give? But if you tokenize that complete thing, like say I divide that Imagica project into 1000 parts, Yes Bank will say I will fund for one part. HDFC, I will fund from, as a Ambani, I will say I will fund for 10, 20 parts. So everybody wants, and as a business model is super, they get incentivized over a period of time and everything is backed by blockchain. So it is a secure. No need of a trust gap or this is not belongs to you, this was mine. Same goes with your land title registration, having a digital footprint of that, all of that. Now coming back, digital identity. So now without identity, imagine without Aadhaar itself, we feel sometimes we are handicapped. And moreover, if a data is gone in Aadhaar, we feel more handicapped because it's centralized database. So how do you create decentralized identity, which is DID? It's going to be future of identity ecosystem. So day after it is going to be self-sovereign. Why will I store somewhere my identity? I will carry that identity in my phone. I will have access. I will give of those Aadhaar 14 parameters, I will give access to ABC Bank only 2 parameters and only for 2 days. That granularity is not there today because this is how we created a centralized system. But tomorrow, self-sovereign identity will have a complete control. Like EUs and many other countries like Bhutan, Africa countries, MOSIP, and all these projects are built on blockchain now. I'll not be surprised Aadhaar come on blockchain or tomorrow's already digital public infra to safeguard will come on a blockchain. Logistics system between EVs, cars come on a blockchain. And as I said, the tomorrow's models are collaboration model. And under collaboration, we need trust layer. That trust layer is given by blockchain. That's what I say. A trust layer is open layer, backed by AI, blockchain, cloud, and data. Right. So while it's a combination of blockchain and all of that, open layer is the future. Like, and in the banking ecosystem, Nandanji and Finternet, which is a new term coming in, and Finternet is a visualization of looking at the new models backed by blockchain. How do you have a money like liquidate money from this? How do I use tokenization? Central bank digital currency, which will give away all those reconciliation settlement. How do we move money fast instead of paper money? How can we move the digital money? We don't have that reconciliation problem of paper currency, right? Cash-based reconciliation. That all will be do away with the blockchain-backed business model, and it will not happen overnight. Slowly, we'll have to do it. For that matter, we need consortium, like companies who has a custody of all the data. So tomorrow, if you have a crypto custody, crypto companies, who will have that custody? So we look at bank as a trusted entity to hold those crypto tokens or stable coin tokens. So that is why banks also need to understand. I think Stancy, HSBCs have understood and they have created their own custody models, their own digital wallet, their own self-sovereign KYC apps. I think slowly in India also we will have. I think imagine 2008, we never had a mobile banking. Now everything is on mobile banking. So slowly it will come. And on the metaverse side, which is a metaverse is again, it's not a one technology. It's a combination of 7 layers. One of those layers is how it visualized to the end user, and that is backed by 3 areas. It could be AR, which is augmented reality, where you are part of that environment, and VR, that you wear that environment and get into that environment as a entity, as a avatar, which is a virtual glasses. And mixed reality is a combination of AR and VR. In my view, everything is important. AR is also important, but VR is also important, like games. You can see that tomorrow's movie sitting in here, you wear that, I wear that, and we feel like we are inside that whole thing. But there is a lot to do. Today, it takes headache, right? If you wear that, in 3 years back, it was headache where I used to wear the Quest devices. But last week, I was wearing at UBS Bank, UOB Bank at Singapore. It was flawless. It was augmented reality experience. So I think augmented reality will prevail and bring a lot of banking use cases. And some of my friends who I am talking UBS and some of the bigger bank, I will not name, they would like to use metaverse for training purposes, right? Maybe employee training or customer training. Imagine welding training. If I have to use that bar again and again, how much cost I will pour, right? But that welding training creates that experience of digital twin with that welding gun. You can create a very good one with the AR VR, and we can save a lot of money. So training is a good part, creating digital twins before creating actual device or actual how it will invest, look at in that environment. That can be done with metaverses. I will not promote and ask banks create a branch banking in a metaverse. I go there and do it will never happen. Rather, create a banking tunnels in games, banking tunnels in those crypto worlds or sandboxes or so on, where APIs can give the transactions either with stable coins or a regulated CBDCs. So I think that could be the way forward. That way, I think, as I said, metaverse is not. There are other areas in the backend, the blockchain. How can we create a decentralized identity in metaverse? So that what went wrong in web world, anybody started creating fake profiles, right? 10, 12 profiles and a lot of haywire guidelines like data theft. And I think in metaverse, we have to secure very well. So any metaverse comes, it should be secured by identity backed by blockchain. So that's how it goes. And if metaverse doesn't come with this, I think those are failure metaverse stories. So I think, but while there is a lot of noise on metaverse, adoption is little less. Only powerful use case in gaming or augmented reality, like where I can see the design of real estate or Tech Mahindra, which has done, or something like I can see the complete menu in the air or a statement in the air, rather than I do PDF or some paper statement, or I just wave this phone and see which is the nearest ATM or nearest movie hall on a thing. And maybe tomorrow's communication will be on augmented reality. We'll be able to see those avatars, like holograms in front of you while we talk, right? The way we have seen some of the movies. I think that futuristic communication we can always imagine, and it can happen. I think we thought to create a hologram in a bank branch and we'll talk, and those APIs can be captured. It was a failure experience we did, but one day we will be quite successful in those metaverses. And as technology also improvising on day by day, I think we will have a very good, we can say metaverse banking is coming. But metaverse banking will not be like a complete app, like mobile app or internet app. It will be part of existing metaverses, right? Maybe third-party metaverses where I go and do the financial transaction with my CBDC or my wallet or my identity. I think that's a future of finance. That's a internet where having my own identity with me, my own tokens in my wallet, could be CBDC or stable coins. I go anywhere around the world. I earn some loyalty points. I can trade that loyalty points backed by blockchain anywhere. I can tokenize that. And even Coca-Cola can see across the globe who are my potential customer utilizing that bottle, and accordingly they can plan their loyalty programs and around that. So I think the world is going to be very cohesively connected tomorrow, and the metaverse will be cohesively connected rather a standalone exercises the way we imagine. Yeah.
No, no, it's good. So, I mean, the next thing is like, how do you prioritize and decide which innovation project to pursue within your organization? So, like, how do you prioritize that? Like, okay, because in earlier question also you said, when like you do that 80-20 things or figure out like which are the top 10 or top 20 the projects, and then but how do you decide that? When
So
what
I
are like
think,
the
see,
basis? Yeah.
yeah, while as a innovation head in DCB, you can always bring a lot of innovation which is happening outside of bank, other banks or other partners, which, or maybe something which is happening in another industry and connect that as a cross industry innovation, right? That will keep happening. But we can't do complete organization cross industry innovation. We need to take your business guys, operations guys, and current their pain points and their exercises on their ROIs could be part of that digital transformation process. Then only we'll have that combination of game. You can't have say and let me revamp complete. Let us bring me AI banking. Let us revamp complete microservice architecture. Let me bring. So I think on a day-to-day basis, I think that is why those stakeholder gathering meetings are very important. What is their pain points? Understand from them and prioritize them. Which are the first ones, second ones? Like example, somebody comes and say this FATCA regulation is coming. When are you going to implement that? At the same time, somebody is comes, or our AR, VR banking, whether it will go first or this will go first. So you need to take a equilibrium call. So I think these regular meetings, stakeholder management is also decides which one will go first, which will go second. And the top management, like at the organization level, we had created innovation council. Now, this innovation council is responsible for measuring innovation. Are we innovating or are we just doing innovation for I would say managing change, or I would just or run the bank kind of innovation. So I think run the bank kind of innovations will be always 80, and the change the bank will be always 20. Right? Depends. Right? Depends where in which orbit we are. And good to see that many banks like SBI, they have done a lot of change the bank kind of innovation like Yonos, Bob World, we have seen. UBI, how they are doing Gen AI or a metaverse kind of stuff. Like IndusInd Bank is one of those pioneer into new age payment experiences with many things they added, Alexa banking and so on. DCP, we have done many of those use case, Aadhaar enabled ATM or a complete lending suite built internally but with the help of internal SMEs, lending SMEs. I think that's how we need to look at it. Now, one part we also have to dedicate to the external ecosystem. Now, there are a lot of DPIs are coming. There is every DPI for everything. Healthcare DPI, ABHA, right? Education DPI, Aadhaar is there, PCR should come. Then we have a account aggregator, right? We are talking Finternet. And these DPIs are quite impactful. Imagine I had known some fintech companies who has integrated with the 6 banks and 2 wallets, and they said we are going to create a powerful cross bank payment ecosystem. And that UPI kind of a DPI came, this is wiped out. So while you are creating your journeys, look at the larger journey down the line. Is there at a government-led initiatives which is coming up and which will wipe up, right? Tomorrow, today, a lot of identity players say come and say that I am going to create next level of Aadhaar. How can you do it? Because Aadhaar is already created. They just have to add one more layer.
One more layer.
Right. So look at that angle also. While you may have your own aspirations for 80-20 within organization and for ecosystem, but externally these DPIs are going to change very heavily. Now there is a DPI coming for logistics. There is DPI coming for between communication between Hyundai and Maruti. Or then there could be some DPI which is coming to say how I earn carbon credit in one industry and how I can trade into another healthcare industry. That carbon credit, right? Exchanges, carbon exchanges are coming. So I think this is very important. So cyber security, clean sustainability, and how these DPIs or digital public for good DPGs, right, is a form of a DPI for public good. So how they are coming and changing our world, we need to keep looking at it. Example, OD is an open data ecosystem architecture for government services. Now NOD is ours, like National Open, backed by Protean. And while there are many companies like I will not name, they are creating many such business models. But tomorrow NOD comes, all these companies will be wiped out who are providing government services, certificate on these. They are saying we are a ledger who will provide caste certificate and will create a wallet. Tomorrow government announce DigiLocker will hold all the certificates. Everything is gone. So we have to plug and play wherever you have a right go-to-market strategy, some pie for next 2-3 years or long term, and based upon that you have to decide how to really pump in the money for innovation or not. Now there are some innovations like typically are path-breaking innovations, maybe in one quadrant, which are industry-led. India's first Paytm app. Rest of them came later on, and we have to take that plunge. It is going to be successful. India's first video KYC. Rest of them have followed. The rest of them are Me Too kind of innovation. They also have to do it because it is going to be powerful innovation. So as an organization, we need to see how much appetite we have to do industry first, then carry forward and then problem solving, change request, and those operational innovations, right? Which is like you have to automate that process, which comes in a fourth quarter, or maybe some operational innovation may come into as a change request, second quarter. The top two are industry led first, right? Which is a India's first EMV card, India's first metaverse, the first to do duplicate debit credit card, right? Which is like voice authentication, voice enabled. Second is like everybody follows that, and this other two quarter everybody has to do it to be in the race, which is called as a maybe innovation for change the or run the bank, run the organization. So I think if you divide your innovations in this four quadrant and look at how much appetite you have to run that, then as per that you can move ahead. Yeah.
That's good. So now coming to like the your role as a board member and advisor to several organizations. So how do you approach like governance, board level decision making, especially like when the things are like changing rapidly in technology? And I think in big, and how do you see your role as an advisor in big tech companies and government initiatives impacting like the broader fintech ecosystem?
So I think it's a good. I think it's all experience. It's not something like we have learned. We went in a school or one academy and learned this is how we want to create. So typically, it all about your experiences and attaching those experience as a best practices, or like whatever I done at the DCB. How can I create some models and be part of other banks? Or while we are talking to one fintech, we understood a lot of gaps and how that can become a 18 pointer framework for any fintechs to be successful. So I think that way it's very easy while we have a multiple logos around me. So it's a repetitive, right? It's only to create your own benchmark and see a fintech or a company against that advisory, against that audit. Are they following all those 18-20? If somebody is not following fifth one or if somebody is not following seventh one, that's how I can guide them. It's not something I'm bringing something outside which is 22nd, 23rd. It is sticked around only this, and most of our regulations, guidelines are around this only. So only thing, and how do you bring that thought leadership is a different art. Either be on LinkedIn or whenever you're at conferences, talk around these changes, your aspirations, so that people hear it and ask you to come and talk there also, and bring on that proof of concepts or pilots kind of a program. So I think it's a gradual process. It takes a lot of time to create that leadership or thought leadership at all. I think LinkedIn has helped me a lot to create. I never thought I'll be like that, but the kind of a support people have gave and the kind of aspiration which I was carrying. So I think sometimes I post something, it is helpful for many others, and many bankers start looking at as their change CR or change activity in their organization. So it all coming with the experience, and as well as I follow a lot of good leaders. There are a lot of quite a good leaders whom we can read as a books or on social media, and whenever you meet them, and whenever you open your experiences, they give similar different guidelines altogether, and I am blessed with few of them. Like, and they are observing me also, and immediately within 5 minutes they will say, I think you should do this XYZ also, apart from that. And I immediately click, hey, how could I not thought of this? So I think while you have your own experience coming in from last 24 years, you need to bring on that experience of 50, 70 years which people had, and keep seeing how do I add those cherries and in my experience and my best practices, my frameworks. So I keep doing it. Only way it is not structured, and here onwards I would like to do it in structured way, maybe some podcast, or so that it's not only me and many other people like, and I appreciate what you are doing that way. It is going to helpful, like what I am talking to you and the way you are asking me a question, you are taking best of the best thing from me. And to be frank, I was never ready. I never went to all those questions and prepared myself. I'm just coming in here and giving all my stuff. So I think through this exam, I also noted down points in my mind what more things need to be do in a structured way. So tomorrow we work together. Definitely, I have additional angles to do how better we can do it. So whenever we do any alignment company, look at what they are looking at. I ask them only question, what is the fill in the gaps in your company, where I can come and see. And then I say, okay, these are the 10 things, I can do 5 things for you. And that's how we can do the better exercise together. Yeah.
But I think that's really like a valid point you made it, and that's why like we really appreciate. So now coming to now your personal journey and the question. So like you were working with a few organization and then living the job and then getting into like the pursuing the entrepreneurship career. I mean, what made you like I mean think about it, saying
Yeah.
like okay, let me now get into the business. Like,
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful question, and I think blessed with good parents and my sisters and my wife and kid, and I think I always come with that attitude where I studied in 6 different schools, right? So I think that has given me liberty that time. Ki I am already in the ecosystem, which I have not understood. Okay, I have a good appetite to collaborate, talk, and know the new people. And some of my friends, right? They whenever I was in college and all, I used to interact with any stream, textile, instrumentation. I don't know what I'm going to achieve, but I used to do that, and I used to achieve a lot of knowledge through that exercise. That way, people used to know me. Yeah, this is there, and did a lot of activities around school, colleges, uh, and I think with all these exercise ownership, when we come with that attitude and aptitude that I have my 4 sisters whom I have to take care after my father's retirement, the ownership drives a lot, right? While you have to manage stakeholder in and out, taking ownership is a big mantra for any digital leader. So when I passed out my engineering and whenever I used to go to the smaller companies where I was working, so whenever my boss or people used to, I used to say, I would like to become an entrepreneur. I don't know how, where, but that was my attitude, aptitude, and I think I never did that while I was in Mastech or in Worldline, but I carried that attitude while working. I always worked as a maybe individual contributor also for Mastech. As I said, I was doing that work for many other company projects or in Atos. So because of that capability, I started gaining the cross border knowledge of Atos to the Worldline or to Venture. So I think, and while in the DCB, my fellow leaders has uh, helped me to get into the ecosystem and do that. And the companies also started asking me, can you do this for us? Can you do this for? Then I realized that is a business model for me. So while which has understood back in 2000, I had to do that. But now I'm pretty clear. This is how the way ahead we had to do it. And today I am blessed with a very good founders team. The Diamante Blockstack, where we have Mr. Chirag and Dinesh ji. I think they are very good team, and family, we work together while I'm aligned with UBI and many other logos. I always see how, as a team, how we are incentivizing those partnerships, those areas. We have a long story, long way forward, and we'll keep doing this, right? And as I say, innovation, which I said, and innovation is my vision, where I had worked with a lot of partners in a bank at all various corridors. How that innovation is filled by all these partners, so that the innovation becomes a consulting arm for banks altogether. That's how I look at it. Or open layer is another which work I want to do while I'm closely working with RPA, AI, blockchain, or cloud or data. How open layer acts as a platform backed by all these technologies coming together only for banking. I don't want to get into so those thoughts which are there, and as being a technical architect, I can articulate and I can orchestrate processes or my thought process well. And with that collaboration attitude, I can execute that also, which we had done, and I can do that. So how do we do mass scale and improvise ourselves and do the benefit to the many companies? I think that's how I can do it now as an entrepreneur or as a collaborator, as an ecosystem. And many people has asked me, you are ecosystem guy, you can't become a one company and do this. We have done it enough. You need to do it outside. So we are doing investments for some of the companies where we can grow them. We are doing consulting for many banks, governments, large research companies in India, outside of India, corporates. Academia to create their new age courses, right? So we are advisor to some of the IIM, some of those universities, how they can do the futuristic blockchain degree or AI degree. So at all layers, slowly, I am working around. The opportunity is huge. But at the end of the day, I always come back and challenge myself. Are we in the right direction? Should we slow down? Should we fast track? And that way, I feel little satisfied, and there is a lot to do around that. Yeah,
And
but I
I
am
think you're
enjoying it.
doing,
Yes.
yeah, you're doing the stuff which is your passion. And then once
Yeah.
you follow your passion, so I think that the energy comes automatically. Like,
Yes.
so
Absolutely.
you are like a award-winning CXO and influencer. So what legacy or the impact do you hope to leave on the fintech and the digital banking industry?
I think while journey was there for me, digital banking, fintech journey. So I think we need to create more platforms, more best practices, framework, so that mistakes should not happen, or those experience should come as best practice guidelines. So India FinTech Forum, where we are doing this, or how internet will be executed, while there is a huge concept. So I am collaborating for that. So I think that's the impact. And while doing that, we involve those members by taking them as a member for us, like Future Finance Forum, which we are bringing, or India Blockchain Forum, which we have. I think what we are, or rather, I would like to say, please support our vision, which is a vision which comes with a lot of experience from our members and our influencer, our mentors in the blockchain space or in the finance space. And definitely it will really help for a faster journey for all of them. And we are here to help, as well as we are here to hear uh, that side also, how we can improvise, how we can do better together. I think I can say, as a country we have a larger opportunities. We have done very good in many areas, but there are a lot of areas we need to do well on Web3 or blockchain or AI, some of the sustainable model, some of those EV-based products. So I think so I have created some list where as a product journeys we have to focus on those journeys, and we keep identifying good partners, founders in that journeys, and that's how we are creating India Blockchain Forum or Finance Forum. Yeah, so that's I can say at the I think please support us for a common large vision. And I think opportunity is huge on a fintech, on a banking, and the way we are blessed with the good regulators. The ecosystem will take us through in this whole mission and vision which we carry at IBF and Future Finance Forum. Yeah.
So good. So finally, like the last question. So like, what
Yeah.
would you give like the professional, aspiring to become a leaders in digital banking and the fintech space? So your advice to the aspiring professionals and young professionals.
Yeah, I think be vocal, be transparent, positive. That attitude is all about tells you whether you're a digital banker or a traditional banker. You need to unlearn a lot of things while you become a digital banker. You need to see every process with the customer's eyes, right? How it will look like for a customer. You need to talk about ROI. You need to be in the shoes of every stakeholder, in CFO, MD, operations guys, and you need to create your own index or a measurement framework, so that you can become a good digital banker at a bank or at a fintech level. Because every organization is different. Your orbit is altogether different. So I think once you understand your capacity, capability, I think it will be good. At the same time, talk to some of the other digital bankers. Like I follow some of my friends, like Anil ji from UBI, or some of my fellow friends outside of India. Some influencers there, or Deepak Sharma from or Rajnish Kare from SDFCs. So I have followed their journeys closely, and how they have changed their culture, how they have changed their systems, how they have collaborated with me. I think while that competition era was there, I think I had done huge collaboration with those fellow bankers. And I think that's another angle. While you are a digital banker in your organization, you need to keep talking with other digital bankers and create a consortium or a group of those bankers and exchange thoughts, exchange ideas, product ideas, and so on and so forth. I think keep repeating it again and again. So I think that's how it will be good. I think there are some associations like FACE, which Rastogi is Ram Rastogi is driving, or DLAI, right, which is the Digital Lending Association. I think these are the outcomes of that thought process. We have to collaborate, we have to work together, be part. Ensure tech consortium is there, blockchain we have, right? So I think that's how we need to bring on more. We have a FFI, which is a future finance for India, right? So I think these are those change makers around in India. Be around them, support them also, right? I think that's how we'll be able to have a better journey. At the same time, keep challenging ourselves as well as regulator and the banks also for a betterment, not for grieving, but in a right direction. You can. That's how, because regulators also people, they are not like something sitting with some golden book. This is how it happened, because it's a book is all written with all those iron experiences. And that's how we are polished regulator and polished bankers or polished fintech companies. That's why we have a good brands like UPI or Aadhaar, which other people or other countries do follow. And we need to create that tradition here onwards in a new age finance also, digital assets and so on. So I think that's the advice for all the pillars like investors, bankers, government, or regulators. We need to work closely and see how India as a can become better and better in a new age fintech models. Yeah.
And I think you made a very valid point where, like you said, like don't see like the people, even if it is like the fellow banker or fellow colleagues, don't see them
Yes.
as a competitor. Because like I keep giving the example, like let us say I have 100 rupees note, you have 100 rupees note. If we exchange, the result is zero. But
Yeah.
I have one idea, you have one idea, we exchange, both of us, we are one idea richer. And that's exactly like what you said it here. And I really appreciate, and I know like we have already exceeded the time, but the kind of the interesting experiences like you are sharing and your thoughts and everything was like the enriching. And then I mean it seems like we can keep talking for like the whole
Yes.
day.
Yes. For
We
me
can keep
also.
talking a whole day. But I mean I really appreciate and thank you for your valuable time. And we'll keep in touch with you,
And
Prasanna.
I appreciate, sir. I think every time I thought it's the last question, you come up with a different angle. So I think I really appreciate the way you have this method and the program. I think let it touch thousands of people like us, and those hundreds leaders bring in, and it will be wow impact for any of those upcoming fintechs, bankers to learn from them. So thank you so much for bringing this episode with me. Looking forward to associate with you for a larger, longer visions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thanks a lot. And then this is not like the first and the last. And then
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we are
Yes.
so excited and then
Yeah.
motivated, so we'll have like the series of it with you. Because every time we will be in touch with you, we'll keep learning the new things from you. So really appreciate and thanks for your time.